Hello everyone and welcome back to Call Sign Charlie Models for the HPH 132nd PBY Catalina build, and the cat is back on the bench. So took a little while, I was waiting on some things to come in and we got him right here. We'll go over those here in a second, but what's up next for this is we are going to be doing some sanding on some of these areas right along here and here, and then also just double checking along the fit of the blisters right here and try to make sure that those are all ready to go, and get those cleared up or sanded and all that. So like I said, I was waiting on some parts to come in. My buddy here locally 3D printed some parts for the conversion over to a Black Cat, and he printed the eyeball turret for me, which absolutely looks amazing. All I need to do is I need to cut out these parts right in here for the windows, and this front portion we got vacuum formed ready to go on that. As you can see, I just need to cut that out and we'll get that all ready to go. So we have this front piece right here that sits on the front of the nose, and then this piece goes in with the framing. So I think I'm going to start with the sanding first, get the sanding done, and then after that we'll start working on the turret. I also need to add in the guns into here, but first I want to get the framing. There's these frame pieces right here that go on it as well. So we're going to get those cut off and attached into that, and then we're going to start cutting the windows out for this on there. So that's where we're standing. Let me grab my sanding stick or sanding sponge. I want to start off with we're just going to go with a 600 on this one, and we're going to sand off the gaps and get this looking flush right here. So I might have to go to a 400 because there is a little step here. I'll rescribe these panel or these rivets that are in here that I'm losing right now. Yeah, so this kit was not designed to have the landing gear up, so I definitely needed to do some modifications to get this to work. And as you can see, the doors, they didn't fit perfectly. They fit decently, but like I said, this isn't designed to be with the wheels up. And the way that I want to do this in the diorama, the wheels are going to be up and it's going to be floating in the water. So I had to do some modifications. The nice thing about these fiberglass, the rivets that are in the fiberglasses, they are very hard to get rid of. So those aren't the issue. Re-riveting and rescribing the landing gear door might take a little bit of work, but at least it's a small area. Now with this part, I'm being very careful because it's right along the clear. So now moving up to an 800. So we start off with a 400 and then a 600. Now we're moving up to the 800. So those are all done and sanded. And looking at the blisters, from what I can tell, those look alright. I might get some sandpaper and sand that little edge down right there. And also we need to actually, alright, good checking. So I'm gonna grab our UV resin glue, get a little bit out, so we need to fill in a couple little spots. Hit that with the light. Other side looks good. Alright, so now we can kind of move this off to the side. Get that situated. Alright, up next we're going to be working on this turret section. So first we need to sand down this part. So I'm just going to take the sandpaper and we're going to gotta figure out how to get this to fit into here, where it also has this. We got the fix that we need. I gotta saw off right at this panel line right here on both sides and flat right here, so I'm going to do this other side off camera because just space and room. I can't really get this situated so you guys can see it maybe. Alright, so now we got the cutting done. Sorry about that, but let's check and see how it's looking. Okay, it's fitting better back in here, but what I think I'm going to do is after everything is said and done, I'm going to come in with some styrene to fill that, but it's fitting much better back here. Just going to take some styrene fit to get that to look right, but yeah. I gotta paint this before I attach it. So what's up next now? Getting the Catalina out of the way, because now we know that this fits. What we need to do now is glue on these supports right here. We're just going to do a quick test on them. that is going to look really cool when it is all done on that. So up next, what we need to do is we need to cut out these windows right here going along here, and also I'm debating on, we're gonna cut this out the best we can. So I don't think we're gonna be using this dome here. Alright, so I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna leave this solid right here, and then we'll paint that with the to make it with the glass work. So we'll do gloss black or something like that, and then paint it or put on some of the UV clear resin, let that dry, and it'll give that effect of being actual glass work on that. But with the rest of them, we still need to cut those out. Those are flat pieces, so those will be a lot easier to shape up with the turret. So that's what we're gonna work on now, is getting these all cut out. And first what I need to start doing is I need to drill a starter hole for trimming. Alright, so now we get to start. Alright, one down, and a lot more to go. So, just gonna keep on trucking along. Get a couple more of these done. I won't bore you on camera with these. And I'll come back once all of these are done and cut, and then we'll figure out how we're gonna do the windows. I don't think I'm gonna cut this out of vacuum form. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape the back end of it, and then use the UV clear resin to create the windows that way. So we'll have to see how that works. But I think that's going to be the easier route for doing this, because getting everything measured, and they're not like perfectly square. So I think that's the way we're going to do it. So I'll see you in a second once I get all of these cleared up and done. So alright, so the windows on the turret are cut out. I still need a little bit more cleanup to do, but for the most part the windows are all cut out. I only had one little issue with back here. As you can see, I do need to fix that up real quick, and then after that what we'll do is we'll come in and we will prep for getting the UV resin windows put in. After that is done, we need to work on getting the guns mounted and fit in here. Still need some, blow out some dust in here. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and my hands. This is gonna be the end of this video. So like I said, next part we're gonna work on the UV resins, the guns for in here, and then get that ready for paint, because I'd like to have this all painted up before I put it onto the fuselage. So here's a quick stint on how that is going to look. Like I said, I might actually just putty right there. Now we're gonna get it fixed correctly. So that's how that's looking. I'm going to be using the guns from the Edward B17 gun set. I can put those in there after those are painted and go from there. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys stick around for next week when we do the, like I said, work on this, and then the week after that hopefully we'll be working on the res kit engine stuff. So I will see you in just a minute.